Question? Can I have a roll call, please?
Supervisor Alberico?
Here.
Trustee Bickus?
Here.
Trustee Delaney? Here. Trustee Boyce is absent. Trustee Morelli? Absent. Collector Karen Johnson? Here. Attorney Gary Mueller?
Present.
Oh, he is here. Highway Commissioner John Shalinski.
I'm here for us.
Oh, you're not coming up?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
John is not here.
It's not here. He's here without me. Any citizens wishing to address the board here tonight? Please come up. State your name for the record.
Hello, my name is Jessica Kennedy. I live in Lakewood Falls, Lockport Township resident. I'm here tonight because I just wanted to check in. At the last meeting, Mr. Mueller had stated that the discussion of the rules and regulations regarding the garbage contract was better suited to an open forum than to the town meeting. So what I'm here tonight is to, number one, I would like to know if there's been any progress in rewriting the RFP and where we're at with the progress of rewriting the RFP. If there's been no progress, I would like to know why. I believe, again, as mentioned before at the last meeting, that the citizens of Lockport Township are concerned that everybody gets the services that's deserved to them under the promises that were given by the township officials at the last election. The second point of discussion is I would like to ensure that there is discussion regarding the rules and regulations surrounding the ordinance, and that these rules and regulations are written in consideration of the promises that were made during the last election. Those promises being that gated communities, HOAs, would have the option to opt out of this garbage service. Again, just as a reminder, what was stated during the election and what was approved by the citizens of Lockport Township during the last election is that the garbage program will include an opt-out clause, so if you're happy with the current provider and your service, you can continue to use them. Also, households who have already an organized solid waste and recycling agreement with the City of Lockport or Homeowners Association will automatically be opted out. Essentially, what we don't want to see is that in 5 years, when somebody like Caroline decides, hey, we get a better deal from our HOA, we don't want them coming back and interrupting garbage service for the rest of the township. So what we need to do is discuss what was promised during the election, why this referendum passed, and ensure that the appropriate rules, regulations, and ordinances are surrounding this, rules and regulations are surrounding this ordinance so that your promises are fulfilled to all of the residents of Lockport Township. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Anybody else wishing to address the board? Please state your name for the record.
Delinda Harrod, President of the Fairmount Community Partnership Group, 302 Riley Avenue, 45-year resident of Fairmount. Good evening, Supervisor, Trustees, and Lakewood Falls neighbors. Over the past 2+ years, I and/or a member of our group haven't missed one meeting inside this building. I have stood at this podium to the point of ad nauseum. I think I can relate to how a professional boxer feels being hit blow by blow after blow. Yet here I am again to make a demand on behalf of the Fairmont community. Furthermore, I wish this was the only battle we were having with this township, as there are some Fairmont residents who must choose between paying for trash or paying for heat, but it's not. Tomorrow we will meet with key decision makers at the City of Joliet and Will County and try to convince the township board not to sell our water system to a private company, which could drive our rates up to 3 times our current monthly payments, with no oversight or limits on how much or when rates will go up. We would prefer the township allow the City of Joliet to take over its management. Clearly, that's a much bigger battle and better suited for another forum. If Lakewood Falls would like to learn more about the struggles of the Fairmont community, I welcome an invitation to a homeowners association meeting. Fairmont is not looking for your sympathy, just your understanding. After reading of July 13, 2017 and September 25th, 2017 Herald News articles about the great 10 and 7-year contracts Waste Management had signed with the cities of Joliet and Lockport for less than $22 per month, I thought, of course, Waste Management can offer incorporated residents especially low rates, because for decades the unincorporated communities have been price gouged and paying 3 times the rates offered to these residents. I believe there is a misconception that people of color default on payment of our trash contracts, and I further believe this is possibly why Lockport, the City of Lockport, excluded Fairmont from a contract like what they offered to Bonnie Bray. Unfortunately, after decades of not defaulting on our payments, our loyalty has been rewarded with continued escalating rates. I speak from personal experience as a current waste management customer. Since 2017, we have been asking the township to work to provide trash service for all of unincorporated Lockport Township in hopes of receiving lower trash service rates. We were told no. Lockport did not want to include Fairmont in its trash contract like Bonnie Bray and Crest Hill. For years, we paid such high rates that some Fairmont residents could not afford trash service, thus forcing them to burn their trash or dump it on vacant parcels, ultimately forcing the Fairmont Community Partnership Group to work with area partners to organize 16-plus community-wide cleanups over the last 3.5 years. In 2017, we approached this board for assistance in getting comparable rates for the Fairmont community. This was after our District 9 reps and recycling program specialist and green business relations coordinator, Marta King with Will County Land Use, and others met with waste haulers and learned they had absolutely no interest in cutting a deal for Fairmont's 880 households alone. We then learned a referendum would need to be passed to allow the township to negotiate a contract with a waste hauler for all unincorporated Lockport Township residents. From the beginning, we knew Bonnie Bray was covered under the City of Lockport's contract, and that the HOAs had their own contracts because representatives were never at township meetings asking for better trash prices. We fought to get the referendum on an early election ballot at the town hall meeting in April 2018. As soon as the board approved placing a referendum on the ballot, we had less than 5 minutes to enjoy the thought that Fairmont may be able to get affordable trash prices. That was before a City of Lockport alderman stood up and said, the referendum will never pass as written because Bonnie Bray and the HOAs would not support it. So Fairmont fought even harder to have the language of the referendum include the opt-out clause for Bonnie Bray and other HOAs. We did not want them to have to pay more money for the same service. In our opinion, they were fortunate to have service, and we were looking to take that from them. We were never looking to take that from them, ever. And we knew that if pitted against them, there was no way the referendum could pass. The Fairmont community is so thankful to the Bonnie Bray, Carolina, and Lakewood Falls communities for your support in passing the November trash referendum. Once the referendum proposal made it to a yes by the residents at the annual town hall meeting, I began contacting friends in Bonnie Bray and asking them to vote yes at the ballot, ensuring them that they had an option to opt out. Another Fairmount Community Group member worked with Lakewood Falls residents and asked them to do the same. Fairmount always understood Bonnie Bray and the HOAs could opt out. This message was reiterated in the fall 2018 Township newsletter. Last week, a resident of Lakewood Falls said he paid $51 per quarter in 2009, and today paid $61 per quarter. That's a mere $10 increase over 10 years. My waste management bill increased in increments of $5 per year, some years until it reached $180 plus per quarter. When my parents moved to Fairmount at the ages of 20 and 23, I'm sure it never occurred to them that 60 years later, they would be discriminated against by trash haulers based on where their home is located on the map. When we purchase a stove or a refrigerator at Lowe's or pull up to Thomas Nissan to purchase a car, we pay the same price whether we live in incorporated or unincorporated areas of Lockport. No one says you deserve a better rate based on where you live. Of course not. We pay the exact same price for gas, groceries, and all other items, just like every other Will County resident. What an awesome country this will be when everyone is treated equally. Isn't this what Dr. King was fighting for many, many years? And we wonder why there is so much division in our country today. Maybe it's because we haven't learned anything from the past decades of fights for equality. When the Fairmount Community Partnership Group met this past Monday, the 18th, we voted unanimously to stand with Lakewood Falls and support them in demanding the opt-out clause be applied to them until such time they may see a benefit in joining the other unincorporated Lockport Township residents. While not the optimum outcome, should Homewood decide to raise the proposed rates, Fairmount will likely still be better off than when we started. We would also like to thank Marta King for all of her efforts on our behalf to secure the best possible and most competitive rates. Thank you, Marta.
Any other citizens wishing to address the board, Lieutenant? Please come up, state your name.
Good evening, Supervisor Alberico and trustees and interested, concerned residents. My name is Lou Spoonhour, and I'm president of the Fairmount School Board, School District 89. I'm here to set a plea with you. At our school, which is part of the Fairmount community, we feel an important part of the community. We teach a value system that's real important. And so our appeal tonight is for us to help you deliberate to get this right. We're not in an immediate hurry here, but it's more important to be correct in what we're doing here, and that's what we're going to encourage you to take time to try to. We kind of got into a conundrum here of what to do, and we support the Fairmount Partnership in their decisions, and we appreciate it, certainly as a school district, the support of people to pass that referendum to help us, to help our families. And for that to turn against the people who were helping us is something that we don't feel educationally is like a right thing to do when we're trying to teach this proper values to our own families and students. So, and you've heard, you know, the president of the Fairmont Community Partnership, Delinda, say that there was a deliberate meeting to say even if this turns out to affect Fairmont a little more than was anticipated, because we thought we had a great deal because of you know, what the bids and what we thought we were getting. But we can't sit by and let people who thought they were going to be opted out, and they were generous enough to help us, and to say now they're going to be penalized for that, we just don't think that's the right thing to do. So we would again ask you to, for your consideration and your deliberations, we want to be helped. You know, our community, we have people paying pretty high trash pickup bills on a monthly basis or quarterly, and this deal was really meant to help us, and we appreciated it. But we never intended to hurt our neighbors who were considerate enough to help us, you know, by passing the referendum. So I understand, you know, there's things to be considered. I just appeal to you, being a member of a board who has to meet and make decisions, we appeal to you to really deliberate and try to come up with the best solution here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Any other citizens wishing to address the board here tonight? All right, seeing none, I'm going to move on with the discussion part of this. I called this meeting together because I thought what we put together was too important to let it die and start all over. My first thing I want to, and this is just my opinion, the board didn't vote on it, but I did hear the board's concerns, I hear the people's concerns. I thought putting Lakewood Falls into the contract was the right thing to do at the time. I've heard it. I'm willing to opt them out at this point in time. What I'd like to do now, though, is continue to save the great price that we got for the rest of the community. So what I'm proposing here tonight is I'm going to give my opinion as to what I think I would like to see happen, and then I'm going to give each of our attorneys to give their opinion, along with the county and our two trustees. We can all, everybody has a say on what we need, how we can move forward. What I was thinking, what I'd like to see done is have Lakewood Falls opt out, Caroline can opt out, Bonnie Gray can opt out, but what we did with this RFP, the original RFP never mentioned Lakewood Falls in there, so the RFP I think is good. What we did with this RFP legally lets us opt in or opt out what we want to do. So I don't want to start back with the RFP. I think the RFP in section 11, basically I'll read it, says the contractor is to prepare their proposal on the basis of there being approximately 3,000. It doesn't give a hard number. So we can opt out Lakewood Falls and still have this as our RFP. So we don't have to go to redoing the whole thing and bids and bid opening. We can just continue to work with the contractor that was the low bidder. I don't think it's fair to the low bidder that he has his prices out there now, and he's not going to bid again. He pretty much indicated they won't bid again because their prices are out there and they don't think it's a fair issue to redo it. So my thought is, if we can rescind at our next meeting the vote to start from scratch and get this thing back. You know, basically I have that analogy, we have a car with a flat. Do we change the tire or do we have to buy a whole brand new car? I just want to change the tire to get this fixed. Well, opt out, who needs to be opted out? This is a good RFP, even it's been indicated by Lakewood Falls that they are on the map. So there's no legal thing saying that this isn't a good RFP. So it's my opinion that we send at our next meeting, we send the motion to start from scratch. We'll negotiate with the contractor to opt out Lakewood Falls, Caroline, and Bonnie Gray, with the language in there saying that if and when they should decide they want to opt in, they can always opt in. I think that takes pretty much would satisfy everybody. If we start from scratch, I don't believe we'll get the same prices that we have now. The contractor that was the low bidder has indicated that they will keep those prices good, whether they opt in or opt out with Lakewood Falls. So I think this would be a win for everybody. But we have to resend our votes. That's my opinion. Ask Gary, our attorney, to give his opinion.
Thank you, Ron. My main concern with the RFP and the way that it came out, my concern really did reflect Lakewood Falls, because they weren't on the maps, they weren't included in the terminology within the RFP, yet there was a proposal that included, in essence, forcing them to be part of the group. I had a problem with that. I thought that that needed to be at least re-examined. Taking Lakewood Falls out, realizing that in the RFP, the maps didn't have them in to begin with, I don't feel that there was a sales job that was done, trying to sell to the recipients of the RFP. A program was not going to be actually brought to fruition. So I do support the idea that we can then go forward with the RFP that was previously approved, previously presented. Lakewood Falls would be out, Caroline would be out, Bonnie Gray would be out. There is a provision within the RFP that says that you can opt in. So, for example, if any of those entities, I doubt that Bonnie Gray would, but if either Lakewood Falls or Caroline, if in the future their invoicing exceeds what the township is able to negotiate in the program, they could certainly be welcomed back into the program. But at least it would be on their terms, their effort to come in, and there would be no misguided RFP. So I would support the idea of utilizing the RFP that was presented before, as I said, because Lakewood Falls would be opted out.
Thank you. Carl Buck, the other attorney on this, who helped us put this together, I'd like to have your opinion on this.
I agree with Gary's consensus. I think the RFP can stand if you modify it.
All right. I would ask the county representatives to come up and give us their opinion on this, whether this RFP is legal and good.
Our understanding is it's fine as it is, and I do understand, I just went over the addendums, and I think there was even in the addendum a mention of you can opt out as well.
Right.
So it's pretty clear that, you know, if you're Lakewood Falls or whomever, you can opt out if you like. So, Dean Olson, I'm the Resource Recovery and Energy Director for Will County, work with Martin.
And I also agree. I think, Ron, that's the best solution.
Hang on, I would ask you to come up, or at least, you know, for the record, your name and everything.
Sure.
I'll do it for sure.
Yeah, I just figured I'd answer that question.
Rachel Ventura, Will County Board, and I agree. I think that's the best option. It was touted during the referendum that there would be an opt-out. So, and thank you guys for being patient and understanding, and thank you guys for doing the hard work in getting the RFP. But the county does think that that is the best solution, because going on to bid again would be a bit of a nightmare and very unfair to the bidder. So we totally support opting out Lakewood, and then hopefully you guys will join them later. Thank you.
All right, I would like to ask Belinda, as Belinda was on the committee garbage referendum from the beginning with me, I would ask your opinion as a committee member and whether, how you feel about the RFP procedures at this point.
I don't understand the RFP, what would you do? I mean, I don't know exactly what it says. I'm sure it's a map that shows the territories that's
Right.
encompassed in there. But if everyone else, if your lawyers say it's okay, I say it's okay too.
All right, thank you. Now, I guess I'd have to ask Greg your opinion on this.
Well, at that meeting when Republic Services was here, and I asked the guy directly, would your pricing change if Lakewood Falls is not,
That wasn't Republican, it was home.
or Homewood? When Homewood was here, I asked the gentleman, would your pricing change if Lakewood Falls was not included in this contract? He said yes.
Okay, I can give you an answer to that if you'd like.
Is he gonna, are they gonna raise the prices if Lakewood Falls is not included?
I would Marta, I would ask you to step up and speak on that.
Just yes or no?
They have told us that as long as they can opt in, that they will start the contract at the prices that they have. They will honor it, they just don't want to see you go back out to bid and have everything that they've done for you exposed. And honestly, they have not said this, but it would
The guy said, he was standing right there and told me that.
The gentleman that was standing beside me 3 weeks ago was a young salesman. He was not the representative from Homewood that has been on this case the entire time, and that's Frank. And Frank was here a week ago, and he was not called upon or asked this question 1 week ago when we met. So he was unable to actually answer. And the gentleman indicated that he was here to talk to you about the other aspects of starting a contract, such as the education you're going to need to do for residents and how they'll partner with you. But he was not really here to talk about negotiating terms. He's not involved in that level of the business.
And he did flip-flop on his answer, so
Yes.
it was evident that he did not firmly have the answer, because initially he said,
He said-
oh, yes,
He said they
it
stay
would,
the same.
it would stay the same. And then when questioned, he started to realize that, I'm guessing he didn't know for sure. And so that's where he kind of went back and forth, which, he should have just said, I don't know. It's really
Well,
what he
maybe to settle this, we should just get them to put it in writing to Ron, that they will, in fact, honor the price.
And when Ron stated that the RFP or Frank the same, he said that I'm gonna use the same RFP and renegotiate with the contractor that was the low bidder. Well, if we're gonna renegotiate, that means we're giving an opportunity, we're stuck with whatever price he gives us at this point. If he's saying he changes the price.
An RFP, you can always negotiate. If he doesn't negotiate, we can go to the second bidder.
Well, what are we negotiating? Let's get
Prices.
he's got the price, he gave us the price, if he stays with that price, if you can assure me that he's gonna stay with that price, I have no problem with staying with the same RFP. But if they say that they're gonna change the price based on a lower number of units, then we need to go back to RFP.
They indicated very clearly yesterday on the telephone to me, and Frank said he'd spoken to you as well, Ron.
This is hearsay. Unless I have something in writing, if you're telling me that someone was to rescind something based on phone call you had with somebody.
Before we go too far, basically, why don't we do this then? If I can get it in writing before the next meeting, then we will have it there, and we can resend our motion and move forward. Not kick this thing, because if we start with a brand new RFP, what we have to do, first the attorneys and all have to.
I understand that, so under those qualifications, I would have no problem rescinding and go with the same RFP, if that's the case. That was not my understanding by what transpired at our meetings. I don't have privilege to people's phone calls and all the other things that are going on behind closed doors. I hear what I hear at the meetings, based on what I heard at the meetings, that they were gonna raise their prices when Lakewood Falls was not included in the contract.
All right. That being said, let me work on
Gary Mueller, which you did not.
Yeah.
You did
The
not.
motion was for Gary and Carl.
Okay. Gary
Why are
and
you cutting out Carl on this? I know you
Okay,
don't.
Gary and Carl. I correct myself, Gary and Carl, but the bottom line is, you did not do what 3 of your board members up here had asked you to do.
I thought this was too important to give up this pricing for everybody else, because if we went to another RFP, we're not going to get the same pricing.
And we probably will get the same price now.
Well, I'm being told, you're being told that we are.
Okay, but you did that in writing.
Until, I can't predict the future until it comes to pass. But I usually take people for their word unless they go back on their word, which I have lately. I will tell you that. So, that being said, if everybody's good, then I would start negotiating with Frank. If I can get that in writing, we can move forward. And I will, if this is what the board feels, I will, by the April 8th meeting, I will have the ordinance written up to the wording that both our attorneys are agreeable with. I'll have the contract written up, both of our attorneys agree with, along with the pricing. If everybody's good with it, we can pass the ordinance and the contract next in 3 weeks and get this thing bus back on the road. Everybody feels that way? I need to know, have an assurance from your word, that every word that you do.
To move forward and
Move
get it in writing. We agree with it.
If their pricing isn't going to change.
All right.
From their initial response to the RFP.
All right.
And that Lakewood Falls is out of it out.
I understand. And I agree with, well, I'll tell you this. I believe Lakewood Falls should be in it because of principle, but I'm willing to go along with the board. I'd rather lose Lakewood Falls in it and get the good pricing for the rest of the 2,100 people, residents, our units, than fight over the house. It's too important to me to get the pricing for the Fairmont and the High Road and the College View area. Is it they're paying, I know everybody's talking 185, 190, I'm over 200 myself. And I'm not doing this for me, and I know there's people paying more than me, but it's just not fair to the unincorporated areas to be paying. And we have such a good price with this company. So that's all I have to say, unless anybody else has anything else during this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. I guess it's the second by